Hey girls and guys and girls. So it's early and I said I need to get these dreams out because they're coming in and they're coming in thick and fast, and if I don't get them out in time it's gonna be mayhem, right? And I can't focus on receiving a revelation from him if I'm still thinking about some of the dreams that he gave me before, okay? I'm sorry if I sound like this, but I'm still lying down and I don't plan on getting up right now. The time is just after 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to take my time, okay? So, as you can see from the picture, it says strong people stand up for themselves, but stronger people stand up for others, right? So, I'm going to take you to the dream that I had, okay? And I still need to write these down in my journal, but my pen that I'm using is disgraceful, so I'm just asking God for some grace because I hate the pen, okay? And in houses sometimes when you want a pen you can't seem to find one, right? But anyway, so this was labeled as dream 4, but in actuality it's like dream 5 altogether. But I had a load of dreams the other night and I had to write them down, okay? So let's get into it. Outside on a familiar road, right, I was stood there with a couple of other people. Sorry, I read this out just real quick. When a tall white woman calls us yobs, so I tell her, no, we are not, take it back. She gets defensive and smiles while standing against a bush shelter. Okay, just thought I'd put that in there. She says, I won't. A crowd begins to form, and I say it again and tell her she's judgmental and rude, and we don't need that here. She backs away and walks off. So I tell her, we don't do that here. Best to take a different street. They may be accepting there. In the background, you see her taking an alternative route, and then I wake up, okay? So, as I was stood there, I can get into the details of it now because I just had to write it out. This road is a very familiar road, and I had to look up the name of the road. He allowed me to go and look that up, okay? So we're going to do all that as well so you can see what kind of revelation I got from this, and if there's anybody who's out there that lives in this area that came up. I was like, what does that mean? But I'm going to mention it anyway, and then you'll see what I mean. I was on this road, it's a familiar road, and I was with these other people, and we was all kind of like dotted around on the pavement. And then obviously this woman seen us and called us yobs, and then that's when the situation, I've said, no, we're not, take it back. And then she says that she won't, okay? So when I went and looked up yobs, because I've heard yobs before, but when you don't really pay attention to a word like that, because it just sounds silly to me, okay? I'm going to be honest, like, I would never turn around and say this word to anyone, okay? But the meaning of yobs means a rude, noisy, and aggressive young person, okay? So I said, no, we are not, take it back, right? So this was the beginning of me standing up for those that basically are being called things and they're not doing anything, because we was literally just standing there. We wasn't loud, we wasn't aggressive, we wasn't excitable or anything like that. We was just stood there, and she looked at our appearance, because I had a jacket that was black with my rucksack. And these people, I didn't know whether there was boys, women, or what, because their faces wasn't prominent in the dream. I just knew that they were there, and they had on dark clothing too, okay? And I know in society that when people see a group of people that may look like this, they think they look menacing, aggressive, like they're up to no good and stuff. But I had to point it out that no, we're not, take it back, right? Because that can leave a label on people, and you know how I feel. I have spoken about labels. Don't label me, okay? Because you don't know me. The only person who knows me is God, okay? You cannot label me, because I could change tomorrow, right? And that's how I see it with everybody. Don't label a person as being this or being that, because they can change at any given moment, okay? He's already explained to me that you can't look at somebody and just judge them straight off of the back, right? Because you don't know who they are and what they are capable of, okay? They may look a certain way in the earth, but you don't know where they rank in the heavens, okay? So be careful what you're doing. I don't know who that was for, but that's when she got defensive. But then a crowd came because they could see the situation and they were stood looking at her, so they was on my side, right? And then she decided that she was gonna leave because she knew at this moment that she couldn't win this battle, right? She had said something that wasn't true and we stood up, okay? She wasn't expecting any of us to stand up. She wasn't expecting so many people to stand up for what I had turned around and said, because they had heard what she had said, right? So we all came together, okay? So that's where he's saying right now that there are people who are unable to speak for themselves that we need to stand up for, okay? I'm sure in the Bible it says such things. Yesterday I was looking for a specific Bible verse, okay? And I was looking for don't grow weary of doing good things, okay? I'm just paraphrasing. And instead he gave me 1 Thessalonians, I think it's 14, not 11. I was going to say, is that it? But it's really not. Thessalonians 5:14, okay? It says, and we urge you, brothers and sisters, warn those who are idle and disruptive, encourage the disheartened, help the weak, and be patient with everyone, okay? This was the verse that he gave me. Yes, we are to warn those who are idle and disruptive. Okay, in this, she said something to us, but we wasn't doing anything wrong. So it's not like we was being disruptive, but she was being disruptive. She was being rude, okay? She was being idle. So I had to encourage those people, the disheartened people, help the weak, right? Because none of them would stand up for themselves, but be patient with everyone. So I says to her, we don't do that here. Maybe you'll be okay going elsewhere with that, okay? Maybe they'll be accepting of that, but we're not going to accept it here, okay? We're not going to treat people that way here. We're not going to be that person who's going to chastise other people or treat them badly, right? Just because you've looked at them and seen something and then judge straight off the back. We don't do that here. I had to let her know we don't do that here, okay? And I say that a lot of times, like when people come with dramas and stuff like that, I say we don't do that here. When I talk about people, we don't do that here. Sorry, we want no parts of that, okay? I tell them straight, I don't want no parts of that. I don't want nothing to do with that. That's nothing to do with me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want nothing to do with it, okay? Because if you know anything, people will have your name all about the place saying that you did this and you said that and it's this and it's that. Tell them straight, okay? As soon as they come with it, we don't do that here. We don't want that. We want no parts, okay? So everything had to be nipped in the bud straight away, okay? So in this hour, he's saying these are the things that we need to be doing for our brothers and sisters, okay? That we must warn those who are idle and disruptive. So if they're out there doing the most, yes, they must be warned that the things that they are doing are only leading to destruction, okay? There are people who are disheartened out there who do not believe there's anything else, right? And we need to encourage them, to let them know there is way more, okay, in our Heavenly Father God. He's there. There are people who are weaker, who cannot stand up for themselves, and we need to help them, okay? We need to stand up for them. But most of all, even the people who are less kind or seem a certain way to us, we still have to be patient with them, okay? Because they can change tomorrow. I just said that. They can be one way today and change tomorrow. I had to point her in a different direction. If that's what you want to be and that's who you are, then maybe you should take yourself somewhere else. Maybe they will be more accepting of it over there. I understand who you are. I've not chastised you, but go away with that. We don't do that here. Unless you're going to change right here and now, then you go and take yourself on a different route, because you're not ready, okay? Sometimes people are just not ready to be the person that they was called to be, and that's okay, right? That's okay. You just got to leave people to do what they've got to do until they get to that point. that they are different. They become that different person, right? And I said this in the word that I put up last night as well, okay, about people just not being ready. Sometimes they have to leave from around you because they're not on the same path as you right now. But to say that they won't be, you can't say that, right? So that's where we've got to be patient with each other. So I said I had to look up the road name, okay? It's familiar to me. So I was like, what does this name actually mean, okay? Because I never looked it up before. And then it came up with this, South of Houston. So basically it's just abbreviated from South and Houston. So they've used the beginning and the end, beginning of South and the beginning of Houston, okay? When I say the end, you know, obviously the second word, so the end, because South Houston, last word. But yeah, so that's how they've come up with Soho. And then I was like, Lord, are you saying that this is a situation that's going to transpire on the road where I live, or this is going to transpire somewhere in the south of Houston? This could often be the case, okay? He wouldn't show me that for no reason. He wouldn't allow me to go look it up for no reason. So if there is anybody who is in South Houston, there may be people who are in need of your voice right now, okay, for you to stand for them, whatever the situation may be. He's saying that they are weaker, okay? They are not seen as anything, okay? Because as I said in this dream, I barely saw them, okay? They was just in dark clothes, like their faces weren't prominent. These are probably people who have been looked down on. Could be black people, could be any group of people, could be young people, okay, that have been looked down upon, and they need a voice right now. And you could be that voice of reason, okay, because there is a giant that is against them in society right now, okay, because the woman was tall, like she was like a giant sized woman. There is that giant, okay, and we know that we battle against these powers and principalities, these giants, okay. You've got to be the David in this situation. You've got to defeat this giant, okay, for the people who need you the most right now, okay. You've got to come against this giant. And it may seem like at first that you can't do this, but you will find the words, you will find the power within. Just ask him to equip you with what's needed in this situation, okay, in order for things to work out, in order for people to have a voice, okay. And I do believe that that's the end of the word. I think I've covered everything, but there is a giant that needs to be defeated, okay. So if you're in the South of Houston, then there could be a situation that requires someone to stand, and you could be that person. Not could, but I believe that you are, right? You are that person who's going to stand, because I stood without even an inkling of fear in this dream. I just straight off the back was like, no, we're not. Like instantly, there was no fear there, no nothing, okay? So it's a call to be fearless as well. And no matter how big the situation is, you will win, okay? Everything will be turned around. That giant will be defeated, okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching, listening. I hope that you have a good day, morning, evening, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Ciao.